It's time for the election. Let's do some exercises while we learn about the voting process. Directions. Perform each exercise for 30 seconds. You will then have 10 seconds to rest. Have fun! You can do this workout either sitting down or standing up. Time to warm up. Let's get ready to start our workout. Voting is a process where a group of people can decide things fairly when they do not all agree. Let's do a neck stretch side to side like we're shaking our head no for not agreeing. Rest for 10 seconds. In the United States, voting is an important part of our type of government, which is called a democracy. Take your arm above your head and lean side to side like you're the U.S. flag waving in the wind. Rest for 10 seconds. The people who want the job are called candidates. Candidates often run campaigns and try to convince voters that he or she is right for the job. Do some side arm raises to run your campaign and convince somebody to vote for you. Rest for 10 seconds. When a group of people come together to vote for the candidates they want to see working in the government, it is called an election. Take your hands and touch them above your head like a group of people coming together to vote. Rest for 10 seconds. Anyone who is a U.S. citizen and is over the age of 18 can vote. Put one hand out in front of you and gently pull your fingers back, pretending they're the candles on a birthday cake. Switch to the other hand halfway through. Switch to the other side. Rest for 10 seconds. Voting is your voice and gives you power to choose government leaders and vote for or against certain laws or projects in your community. Do a bicep curl to show just how powerful you are when you have the chance to vote. Rest for 10 seconds. Voting happens across the entire country. Each state and city can set its own rules about when and where people can vote. Move your arm out to the side and into the middle like you're showing voting happening across the entire country. If you'd like to challenge yourself, you can add in your legs as well. Rest for 10 seconds. During a presidential election, swing states are states that could potentially be won by either candidate. Do some arm circles to show how a state is swinging from one side to the other. Rest for 10 seconds. The election and voting process can vary in different countries around the world. Do some side twists to show the world spinning and the different countries. Rest for 10 seconds. Once you're 18, in order to vote, you need to first register yourself. Do some wrist rolls to register to vote. You can do both wrists at the same time or switch halfway through. Switch to the other side. Rest for 10 seconds. Many people go to a polling place on election day to vote. Polling places are often in schools, community centers, churches, libraries, or other public buildings. Take both arms above your head and lean side to side like we're making the roof of a building. Rest for 10 seconds. Some people can't go to a polling place on the day set for election, but they can still vote by mailing an absentee ballot. Do some leg kicks as we make our way to the mailbox to put our ballot in the mail. Rest for 10 seconds. Some people need to wake up early to make it to the polls before work or school starts. Let's get ready to vote by doing some toe touches, like we're waking up and getting out of bed.
Rest for 10 seconds.
It's important to go to the correct polling place for you to vote and to get there during the voting hours that are set for that location. Do some high knees so that we can get to our location in time to vote.
Rest for 10 seconds.
When you get to the poll location, you have to check in with the poll workers. If it's your first time voting, you will need to show ID. Let's check in and do some front arm raises.
Rest for 10 seconds.
When it's your turn to vote, you will have privacy either in a booth or with a divider to keep your selection secret. Let's do some ankle rolls or some lunges to make our way to our voting space.
Rest for 10 seconds.
It's time to fill out our ballot. Move your wrist up and down to mark your selections. You can do both wrists at the same time or switch halfway through. Switch to the other side.
Rest for 10 seconds.
After you're done voting, you need to submit your ballot. Most ballots get placed into a scanning machine that record your selections. Open and close your hand to put your ballot into the scanning machine. You can do both hands at the same time or switch halfway through. Switch to the other side.
Rest for 10 seconds.
After you're done voting, you can proudly display your voting sticker. Do some shoulder taps to put on your sticker.
Rest for 10 seconds.
It's important to encourage others to exercise their right to vote. Do some overhead reaches like you're encouraging somebody to go vote.
Rest for 10 seconds.
After the election, machines or election workers count the votes for each candidate. Do a finger stretch and wiggle your fingers like you're counting the votes. You can do both hands at the same time or switch halfway through. Switch to the other side.
Rest for 10 seconds.
The two main political parties in the United States are the Republican and Democratic parties. Who will win? Do some shoulder shrugs or shoulder rolls.
Rest for 10 seconds.
The news covers the election process from start to finish. Do a neck stretch looking up and down as we watch the news to figure out who won the election.
Rest for 10 seconds.
The candidate with the most votes usually wins the election. For a presidential election, once all the votes are in, if one candidate has a majority of electoral votes, then they win the election and become president. Reach both arms up and down to celebrate the person who won.
Rest for 10 seconds. Time to cool down and stretch. Way to go! You're all done with your workout.